Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to part 2 of our interview with Bedros Keuilian. I hope you guys enjoy it. It's another hour long, but we get into some really interesting stuff. Let me know what you think. Just, you don't have to get in super detail, but what are some fundamental things for someone out there? Let's say they've got a $1 million a year business and they want to get to $10 million. I mean, what would you say, like, a couple things you give that person to think about? Yeah. I'll add on too, because I've got a couple things as well.
Sure. So I always say, what's the lowest hanging fruit, and what are the big levers you can move to swing the biggest doors, right? The small hinges swing big doors. And so most people want to dive into the roots of everything. Well, I want to rebrand things. Like, is that really going to take you from $1 million to 10 million?
Right.
When was the last time you shared your vision with your team? Is your team even a team, or are they a group of employees where they clock in a little late, clock out a little early, do the bare minimum? Right. Because if they're a team, then they're fighting for a unified outcome.
Right.
Like, I want team members.
Right.
Like, he's a team member.
Right.
Yeah. The other day when I was in Vegas yesterday, one of my other videographers, we have 4 videographers. He met me in Vegas. He was sick to his stomach. The kid was yellow. Right. But he had to film the workshop, and he pulled through and made it happen. Yeah. Jonathan met me here, and I'm flying to LA, and another one of my videographers is going to meet me in LA when I got a gig when I get back there tomorrow. And so where the fuck was I going with this?
No, we were going on the importance of a difference between a team and employees.
Oh, right. Like, these are team members, right? These are team members. An employee would be like, hey,
You're
boss.
Getting me fucking hyped, dude, because this is my bread and butter. This is what I'm great at, too.
Yeah, exactly, right? An employee's like, sorry, bro, I can't show up to St. Louis because I'm sick. Or actually, his flight was delayed. He found a way to get here. Right? Found a way to get here. So first of all, do you have a team or employees? Let's make sure that you have a team. 2, have you shared your vision? Do you even know what your vision is? And a proper vision is, I want this outcome by this date. Right. That's a vision. Right. And then finally, is there continuity? Like, one of the lowest hanging fruits to building a successful business is continuity. Is it a one-time sale, or can you turn that one-time sale into recurring revenue? Right. Everything I own, my coaching programs are monthly. Right. You pay me monthly. My software company, you pay me monthly. Fit Body Bootcamp, you pay me monthly franchise fees. Everything I own is, you're paying me monthly. So I'm going to sell you once, and you're going to pay me over and over again until you quit, or I fire you as a client or a franchisee or whatever. Right. And that's how I was able to scale my empire. So it's vision, team, and continuity. Those are the 3 lowest hanging fruits to take $1 million into a 5 and 10 million. And then from 10 million, we dive deep into their personal life.
Yeah, for sure, dude. The biggest difference I see between people who run, and this is so fucking simple. It's like, it's embarrassing to even say, but like, when I say it to people, they're like, holy shit, you're right. Quit looking at your employees as an expense. Quit looking at an employee as an expense. Look at it as an investment that's going to turn a return. Okay. So I have numbers of people who are like, they'll email me and they'll say, dude, I'm doing like 500 grand. I'm thinking about hiring my first dude, but that means I'm not going to make this much. I'm like, bro, you're looking at it all wrong. You're going to hire that dude. It's going to cost you X, but it's going to pay you X plus. And like, looking at things like marketing as an investment and not an expense, looking at things like employees as an investment, not an expense, change your perspective to where it removes the fear of expansion. Because most people can't scale because they're afraid to scale. Yeah. They're like, fuck, I'm selling $1 million. You know what? I made 60 grand this year. If I hire that employee, that means I got to pay him 40. I'm only going to make 20. That's not how it works. It takes a fucking team. And dude, one of the biggest things that I've noticed about CEOs that have amazing culture like you have and like we have is that they are great fucking storytellers. I can stand in front of my team and I can paint the picture of exactly where we're going to be and how it's going to look. And I could draw it on a board and I could show them where they're going to fit in if they do the work. And it creates a sense of community and mission. And dude, I always make it a point to let them know who our opposition is, which I'm not going to say that on the air. But if you have a team and you're trying to win against something. So what's the mission? It can either be a mission or it can be an opponent. And you can look at it 2 different ways, but either way, you're going to rally people around a cause. Doing it around a cause is more effective because once you beat the opponent, I've learned this the hard way. Once you beat the opponent, then what the fuck do you rally them around? Right. You know what I'm saying? So it has to be mission based. Dude, culture is the most underrated piece of a business. It just is. I look at culture and community and our team as a valuable, like, what's it worth to me money wise? You know what I mean? Like, it's the most valuable thing in any company if you have it right. And it's the most value sucking thing if you just have employees.
Exactly. And you know, it's funny you say that about culture too, because again, everybody looks at culture as an expense. Because they go, why do I have to have these get-togethers, barbecues in my house?
Right. They're like, we have dinner here, and they're like, like people will be like, well, why are we spending $3,000 every time we have a meeting on catering?
Yeah. What's it costing us? Well, what are we gaining in loyalty? How about what we're gaining in loyalty instead of what it's costing us? Right. Dude,
I feel like this. Well, where have I heard this somewhere? Value is in the
inefficiencies.
Inefficiencies. Right. That's one of
so Andy's. Like, dude, I am. Culture is like most people. Like if I ask most business guys, like what's their culture like? Like you ever ask guys that they answer like what's your culture like?
They don't know.
They'll go like this. Not only do they don't know, they don't know what the fuck you're talking about. They'll give you the answer like this. Well, it's pretty good. I'm like, well, what's that mean?
They love working out.
Yeah, like dude, people seem pretty happy. No, I'm asking you, like, what the fuck do you stand for? How do you communicate? What is the mission you're on? How are you going to get there? Who's your fucking opponent? Okay, we're coaches, right? You're going to go on a team. We're going to go on the football game. Our goal is to win the fucking game. How are we going to win the game? We're going to score 50 points, and we're going to keep them scoring fucking 0. You know what I mean? There's a mission. And, dude, so many guys who are in a CEO position, they don't understand that they're a coach or they're the, what do they call it? Conductor of the orchestra.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not... It's a constant thing. It's everyday thing. It's every conversation thing. Every time I walk out and see one of my guys or talk to them or have a conversation with them, my objective is to drive home culture. It's to establish what we stand for, what they're currently doing at the time, and get them to understand how that ties in. And if you do that enough and for long enough, you will create cultural replicas of what you want your company to stand for in your people, and those people will further the creation of that. So it spreads like a virus. You know what I mean?
That cultural replicas of what you stand for.
Right.
That's exactly
what
you
want.
Yeah.
Because if you do that, now I don't have to be here 24 hours a day when these guys are here at 2 in the morning.
You've replicated yourself in them.
Because I know these guys, but I didn't replicate them because I told them. People think, oh, well, you can replicate someone if you tell them to be just like you. Bullshit. They have to be intrinsically motivated to care and stand for the things that you stand for. And dude, it's such a mystery to most people, and I'm glad because I get paid a lot of money to help people with this.
Sure.
So, you know what I mean? But it's really fucking simple.
You know, it's funny. I always tell clients who have more than 10 employees, and they go, man, it's like a fucking shit show at my HQ.
That comes back on you.
Yeah.
Right.
I go, you know what? Walk into your headquarters next time in a dark mood. Just put yourself in a dark mood and walk in there and see how worse it gets.
Yeah.
And they go, oh, yeah. Well, I don't need to do it. I can imagine that. I go, then you have direct control in making it better.
Right.
It's about being the servant leader. It's about leading from the front. And if you're late to work, if you're late to a meeting, what do you think? Well, if the boss is late, what the fuck do I have to show up, right?
Right.
But no one wants to take personal responsibility because they go, well, I'm the CEO and founder because it says so on the
So I could do what the fuck I want.
Yeah, but it's like that.
And everybody else has to do this, Dude, you know what the funny thing is I don't fucking show up here first every day and I don't leave last. You know what I'm saying? But when I come in, people know that when I'm not here, I'm doing productive shit. They know I'm working as hard as anybody, if not harder, and I'm getting shit done. And they also know that I'm facilitating them and giving them ownership and ability to be who they are and to show their worth and to show their value. But dude, if you don't have a strong culture from the beginning, you can never fucking do that.
No.
The funny thing is like these dudes that want to fucking come in at noon and leave at fucking 2, they could probably do that if they built the right culture. You know what I mean? But they don't. They instead of doing it because you have culture, they're doing it because they're entitled to do it.
Right.
Because they're CEO. And like, dude, that's why you see so many fucking shitbag companies fail. Just poor leadership, man.
You nailed it. Being the CEO does not make you the leader.
No, fuck no.
Being the CEO just means that you are the title on the corporation paperwork.
Yeah.
That's it.
And there's a big difference, as you know.
Yeah.
Like, and so many business owners, dude, I know so many business owners that could be so great if they would let that entitlement go and fucking become a true leader. You know what I mean? Instead of saying, do this because I'm the boss, it should be do this because it's the right thing to do.
Where do you think that entitlement comes from? Is it ego? Is it from
Dude, I think people Well, yeah, I think first of all, most people are driven, which is weird to me because I'm the opposite. Most people are driven by recognition over money. So they see a little power and they get a title, they get this, they get that, and they want to flex on everybody. Like, I'm the fucking boss. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Give me the paycheck.
Right. And the reality is like, that's not how I see shit. I see it like this. Dude, I'm so fucking fortunate to have these guys. If I didn't have them, I would be shit. And that's the truth.
Yep.
And I'm not saying that to say it on the podcast. It's the fucking truth. If I didn't have the guys that I have, you guys wouldn't know who the MFCEO fucking is. Yep. And that's the truth. But I understood my dad was very humble. I mean, my dad talks a lot of shit and he sounds cocky, but he's fucking humble. And you know what I'm saying? And like, dude, you have to be a servant leader. You have to be humble. You have to be willing to get people's buy-in by letting them have feedback. You don't have to have all the answers. The biggest thing about CEO, I think that people miss, or business owners, is that you don't have to be right all the time. Let somebody else's idea be the right one.
Exactly.
Your job is just to pick the right idea. So you have to be humble, right? Because a lot of guys are like, well, I'm the fucking boss, so my idea is the best. Very rarely is my idea the best here.
Amen.
Very, very rarely. Unless I fucking say it is, right?
Sure.
But dude, I can tell you one thing for sure. Tyler never has the best idea. So, but these other guys in here, sometimes we're sitting around and dude, they'll have a great idea. And I'm like, fuck yeah. But that takes humility, right?
Exactly.
Like, cause you've got to admit, like, dude, this guy came up with a better solution than I come up with.
Yeah.
And I think the inability to let the ego go in that situation hinders not some businesses, most businesses. Yeah. I mean, what do you think?
Well, to that point, I bet you a lot of people listening to this podcast right now are probably, the secondary conversation is in their head is, well, Andy, you told me that culture is important, but give me a good example of like how to build a culture. And you just said it, and I want to make it clear for everyone listening. The fact that you've made them feel safe enough, your team members, to sit around a boardroom table and come up with an idea, and knowing that if the idea isn't so great, you're not going to say, dude, that was stupid. What a retard. How dare you come up with that, right? No. So you've created a culture where they have a voice, they can come up with an idea,
look, dude,
and if it's better than yours,
Bedros,
you'll accept it.
It has to be that way because I'm not that fucking smart.
That's it.
So I need other people around me.
Well, I mean, that's your job as a CEO, is to build that team.
But CEO is not a dictator. It's a decision maker.
Right.
Like, you're looking at all the options and your job is to say, okay, I've got these 5 options. I'll pick number 4. And sometimes when you pick number 4, it's wrong. But dude, your job is to pick something. Okay. It's not to have the only option. And like, my guys, I've never fired somebody for making a mistake if they had good intentions. I've never even yelled at somebody for that. But I will fucking absolutely destroy you verbally if I think you're fucking lazy, or if you're cutting a corner, or if you're not showing discipline. I will fucking destroy you.
And that too is part of building culture, because you set high expectations and you reinforce them. You not only reinforce them.
I have zero tolerance for it, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
I have zero tolerance for not following a plan that is proven to work, and I have zero tolerance for laziness or lack of discipline. Yeah. I will fucking explode.
Can I say something where that's concerned too? And anyone who's an entrepreneur and is listening to this right now, you need to understand this as you get to that 5, 10, 20, 30, $100 million mark. And anyone who is an employee right now working for an entrepreneur, you want to be an entrepreneur in the future, please pay attention to this. Every entrepreneur is at war right now. You just said it yourself. You said, I'm not going to name the competition, but I have competition. Yeah. And I'm not going to tell you who the opponent is. But
but when we have our meetings here, trust me, if I'm not saying, dude, we're going to fucking destroy them.
Yeah, that's the whole idea.
And we don't destroy them by attacking them. We destroy them by us being better.
Building your business. Yeah. And so right now, anyone who's an employee who's looking to be an entrepreneur, the best thing you can do for the entrepreneur that you work for right now, make them successful, help them beat their competition, help them crush the opponent.
Dude, because those guys, guys those are the guys now that are making 6 figures here, fucking killing it, having 7-figure opportunities as the company grows. Dude, if you can make, because there's this negativity that comes like, dude, why am I working for this motherfucker? Well, let me tell you something. The reason that it's a good idea to help your boss is twofold. One, he can pay you a lot more money if you provide a lot more value. If the company grows, you'll probably make more money. Okay. And they'll be like, no, my boss is an asshole, blah, blah, blah. All right. That's true. Let's say that is true. You fucking pour your heart and soul in a business and the business grows and you don't make any more money. Guess what you just learned? You learn new skills to how to grow a business. And guess what you could do with those skills? You could take them elsewhere and fucking make money.
Yep.
So like, dude, people think they have to be in this perfect situation. Whether you're working at McDonald's or whether you're working at a Fortune 500 company, you should be pouring your heart and soul into making the best fucking French fries that you could fucking make. And if you do that and make a habit in your character of, I'm always doing the best I can, no matter what the situation, and put faith in the payout, because you're going to learn a skill, right? Let's say you're working at McDonald's and you start to make the best fucking fries. And every time you make fries, the other dudes that make fries, they suck compared to yours. You might not get $100,000 a year to make fries, but what you did get is a habit that you can apply to other areas of your life that will make you $100,000 or more a year.
Because how you do anything is how you do everything.
Dude.
Yeah.
I've never seen, like I said earlier, I've never seen an example of where doing the right thing didn't work out in my favor. I've never seen an example where that wasn't true either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, dude, when we interview people, I fucking send one of our guys out to look in their car, see how fucking dirty their car is.
Holy shit, we are the same.
Yeah.
Same. We do the exact same thing. While we're up there interviewing, someone's downstairs looking in their car. Because if there's hamburger wrappers and shit, Starbucks cups, that's how your brain works.
Yeah.
Disheveled.
Right.
And that's how my business is going to operate.
Right.
Fuck that.
Right.
Yeah.
Dude, it's every detail, man. And like,
that's funny.
I think if you're a CEO or wanting to run a business right now, and let's say you're working for someone else and you want to be a CEO one day and you want to take the opportunity of the situation you're in to soak up every bit of skill that you can. Because I run into people, they're like, oh, I have this shit job, but I want to be a business owner. Well, the fact that you even said it's a shit job shows me that you're not fucking appreciating the opportunity to learn at the situation. Dude, I've had guys leave here and go out and fucking become super high paid attorneys or super successful business guys because of the shit that they learned here. Yep. My goal, and I'm sure you have the same too. My goal, I want people who give me their time, whether they move up in our business because our business grows fast. And if you want to be a part of a fast growing company, come work for me because we fucking kick ass and we're going to grow 10 times the size that we are. We're just getting started. But I know I won't keep everybody. I know not everybody's going to stay here.
Right.
But my goal is for them to leave here and say, dude, I learned more at that fucking job than I've ever learned at school, than I've ever learned at another job, that I've ever learned from a coach or a mentor. I am so thankful I had that opportunity to work there because it set me up to be successful other places. You know, and dude, the funny thing is a lot of guys won't do that because they're like, well, if I teach them and then they get too good and then they leave, that's scarcity mentality. Yeah. And the funny thing is they'll leave anyway because you're not teaching them. So when you put it upon yourself to become a fucking true coach and mentor for your team, to teach them the skills, guess what happens? They become loyal to you anyway. So they don't go anywhere.
Right. You actually keep them longer and they do a better job.
And the business grows.
Yeah.
The business grows and you will pay them more than what they're worth because you're so happy for what they're contributing.
But you know where that comes from, right? When people are so scarcity mindedness, I figured this out. Scarcity mindedness and the unwillingness to invest in your employees and make them team members is from their own lack of self-esteem and self-image. In other words, how they feel about themselves and how they feel others view them.
Right.
When people have low self-esteem, low self-image, they start getting scarcity-minded. They contract instead of...
And they project power.
Exactly.
Instead of empowerment.
Yeah.
Right.
Their greed glands begin to secrete. Everything's right. All those things. And so very first thing anyone can do listening to this, if you're making $600,000 or $6 million and you want to 10x that, work on your self-esteem, work on your self-image, communicate well, become decisive, build a team instead of employees. And when you do that, you're actually building an empire. And what the fuck is wrong with leaving people better than you found them?
That's the right thing to do.
How great is that? You empower people. They do good in your work, in your workplace. And then when they're ready to leave, they're better humans than when they showed up here.
Right. And there's not animosity or any of this other shit. It becomes a network. Like they'll call me and be like, hey, dude, I got this, this, and this. We should, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
More opportunities come from it.
Opportunities, exactly.
I think something to point out on this situation too is with guys who are in that, you're saying 10x their income from 600 to 6 million, right? Dude, I think that it all roots to being okay with letting people know that you don't know everything. Right? Like go on Facebook right now. Every motherfucker on there that you see in your feed knows fucking everything about everything. Yep. How much money are those people making?
Yeah. Barely surviving.
Barely surviving. But they fucking know everything. I think the biggest key as a leader is to seriously just be okay with people knowing that you don't fucking know everything.
Yep.
Like, dude, it takes down your shield. It takes down that sense that I have to be the fucking hero. And instead, it makes you vulnerable, and people will see you as a human and not as some dude who's trying to flex on them and make them work or be. They say, dude, I like this guy. I'm going to fucking help him out. Yeah. Let's work together. Yeah. And dude, you have to follow it up, right? Like when guys do extremely good for you and go above and beyond, like if you're a company and let's say you've got a guy who makes videos for you. And let's say you have this guy who makes videos for you and he does a fucking great job. Not saying my guy does a great job because he fucking doesn't.
Right.
But let's say he does. You're not going to pay him $40,000 a year as a videographer for going above and beyond and creating all this value for you. You got to pay him a lot. And you feel good about paying him a lot because he's doing a lot for you.
Yeah, he's exceeding your expectations.
So you have to fucking back up your word, I guess is what I'm saying. Like if dudes fucking go above and beyond, pay him above and beyond.
Yeah.
Because the return is better.
Yeah, I got to add this, and let me share this.
And I was not talking about Tyler, by the way.
Right.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
So you've been talking about it from the leadership standpoint, but that a huge swath of our leadership, or excuse me, of our listenership is actually still in a 9-to-5 job, and they're working for people who may actually have bosses that are, to reference your most recent podcast, Andy, they're number one kind of people. They're very high level of excellence, very intense. And I want to say to everybody out there, if you're on the opposite end of that, if you're somebody who works for someone like that, you're gonna go through. If you're open-minded to it, I think you're gonna go through a kind of phases. So the first phase is that you're gonna, somebody like Andy's gonna rip into you, call you to higher levels of just productivity, excellence, everything. And the first stage you're going to go through is you're going to go through the poor me attitude. You're going to kind of have your
what the
tail.
Fuck's wrong with this guy? He's a dick. Why is he picking on me?
You're going to have like your tail between your legs, that kind of thing. And then after that stage, you're going to go into the FU attitude, which is, man, I can't believe this guy's on my case so much. And he's, cussing me out and, holding me to account. But then when you go through those first two phases, you're going to break through to the third stage, which all of a sudden you're going to realize, oh man, I'm better than I was a year ago. My standards are 16 times better than I was, 3 months ago. And I mean, admittedly, I'm talking about myself because that's exactly what I went through I've probably been yelled at more in the last year than I have my entire life. And I did.
I fucking deserved it.
No, I did. No. And I mean, all kidding. I want people to get this lesson because I think this is a huge lesson. You will go through the poor me. You will go through the FU. But if you power through and you're open-minded to real bosses and real leaders really working on you, you're going to become the best version of yourself. And that's a horribly overused term, but it's true. Yeah. And I think for those of you out there who are working for other people and you're not necessarily you haven't done your entrepreneur thing yet, you're not living your dream. If there is somebody in your life who's like that, just know that you're going to benefit from that. And that's part of, and to me, I think that's one of the great things about the culture that you have at First Form is that people know that. Even when it's not enjoyable to get ripped into, and even though it's not enjoyable sometimes to realize you screwed up or you got to get better, man, the final end product is when you do finally get better. Yeah, right. And when everybody wins and everybody gets better, it feels awesome.
Dude, it's like if you play sports, man, I get to promise you, the coach you hate the fucking most was the one that affects you the best. It's just the way it is. I'm sorry, it's uncomfortable to get told that you fucking suck. But my job is to tell you when you suck, and it's also to make sure you're better so that you can fucking earn more money.
Right.
You know what I mean? And we can win.
I would say that there are people who probably have bosses that yell at them.
There's people that
don't have their best interest in mind.
Absolutely. But you can usually tell those people right away because, like we were talking about a minute ago, they're always going to have the right answer. They're always going to be a dictator. They don't really care about your personal development.
Right.
They'll lie. You'll catch them lying. But dude, this is a fine line to fucking cross because I've had people tell me before, dude, you just fucking hard on me because you want to make more money and sell more shit. No fucking shit. This is a business. Right. I'm hard on you because if you do better, we can make more money.
Right.
That means you and me. Like this isn't fucking, summer camp. Like this is not a fucking game. This is about selling shit so we can fucking make money.
Yeah.
Do you think a lot of CEOs, entrepreneurs in general...
But I also know that the way to sell the most shit is to actually do good to people, solve their problems, provide a product that benefits them, help them find a solution, help them be better. And guess what? You make a lot more fucking money. Mm-hmm. You know, go ahead.
I was just going to ask if you think a lot of CEOs fail at, you know, explaining the end goal to their team.
Absolutely.
I think it's the biggest thing they fail.
Number one, it's communication and vision. And I believe it's at
and their
least
ability
90%.
to communicate that vision.
And by the way, that vision changes over time, right? Because your business, in your mind's eye, when you draw out what your business is going to look like over 10 years, the final dot ends up here with the multi-million dollar mark. But really, it was this, right? And all along, you got to tell them, because every dip and peaks and valley, they're panicking like, oh shit. But the whole time you're like, oh, I expected this to happen. I expected this to happen. But we're going to get there anyway. But let me just say something, Vaughn, where you were talking about, since majority of the listeners here are still working for someone. If you're working for an entrepreneur who is cut from the same cloth, let's say Andy is and Gary Vaynerchuk, and I'll humbly throw myself in that, where I care about their self-development. I run high-performance workshops, not for just my customers and clients who pay me, but for my own team. I'll pull them downstairs into our learning center and, hey, we're going to spend the day running high-performance work. If you are working for someone who actually cares for you, it's okay. Maybe you're not meant to be an entrepreneur. It's okay to be an intrapreneur in their world.
That's a great word.
And that's
I always say that too. I was actually going to touch on that, so I'm glad you brought that up.
Sure.
Not all of it's 7 to 8% statistically are actual entrepreneurs. Yeah. Okay, that includes people who own franchises. All right, the rest of everybody is going to work for someone forever. Now, taking the entrepreneurial, all the shit we said just now can all be converted inside of a company, an entrepreneur. I love that. I'm gonna start using that.
That's good.
That's the fucking way it is. So like when you listen to entrepreneur podcasts and you're like, fuck, I don't even own a business. Apply it to what you're doing now and you're going to see tremendous value. You're going to see yourself grow into somebody who can make 6 or 7 figures within a company. That's amazing. You know, so you don't have to you don't have to be a guy who goes out like when they're 8 years old, like I did, and sell light bulbs door to door and all that shit. Like that doesn't have to be.
That's a cool story. I was selling posters at 8 years old.
Yeah. I mean, dude, it's a skill, man. It's something that some people have naturally within them, and some people have it at a very high level. Some people have it at a little bitty level. That's why you have. What was the thing you were saying about? There's different kinds of entrepreneurs. We were talking about it out there.
Oh fuck! What was? Yeah. Oh, about crop dusters and fighter jets. I have no idea. What?
Yeah, go ahead with that.
Well, okay. So where crop dusters and fighter jets are concerned, you look at. I always tell people this. Hey, what kind of entrepreneur do you want to be? Well, I want to be a kind of entrepreneur that makes a shit ton of money and makes a big impact. Everyone always talks about income and impact. I go, all right. So what does that mean? Well. I'm going to have a good team and vision and all that. So then what are you doing? What you're really saying is you're going to go to war and you're going to crush and dominate. And so you're going to go to war. You're probably going to take fighter jets with you. And let's say if there's a squadron of 5 fighter jets, but one of them is a crop duster, is not meant to go to battle. You can't just duct tape a fucking bomb on a crop duster. Is that crop duster going to do any good for those fighter jets? No. Then they have to be cut off. And so you got to train yourself from a crop duster to a fighter jet by not hitting the snooze button, caring about your health, about your mental state, and all that stuff. Go from a crop duster mentality into a fighter jet mentality, because being an entrepreneur is a war. And so when everyone thinks that, hey, you know what, I'm listening to Andy's podcast and one day I'm going to be an entrepreneur, you're really asking to become a fighter jet and go to war. You can actually be an intrapreneur, still be a fighter jet, and carve out a role where you add value. For example, someone once asked me, because I love the how-to parts, someone once asked me, okay, so then how do I be an intrapreneur? Because we brought that up, so I'm sure people are going to ask you, well, Andy, how do I become an intrapreneur? So one of my web developers asked me, well, I have no control on the revenue. I go, you don't? You have control on the time on page, whether people buy our low barrier offers or not, whether we are search engine optimized, if we are ranking a number 1, 2, 3, or 10, and all of those things move the money needle. Everybody in my organization has control over the money needle. And if you have control over the money needle, Jonathan right there, who's filming us right now, has control over the money needle. If he films and edits correctly, right? If he films and edits correctly,
exactly,
they're going to move your money needle. But if they don't get the right beats into the video, and the video doesn't get the traction that you want on social media,
or that it could, right? Now you're a liability.
Exactly. Right. So it goes back to, if you want to be an intrapreneur, find a way to move the money needle, and then the money will be split amongst you and the entrepreneur.
Absolutely. And I think a lot of people don't believe that. They're like, oh, if I do all this shit, I won't get paid. That's not how. If you think like that, you'll never get paid.
Right.
That's just the way it is.
Right.
So like. I'm glad we covered this, because I got a question the other day. I actually posted in my Snap story about a guy said, Andy, you know, you're always talking about entrepreneurship, but and success as an entrepreneur, but you have employees. So like, are they like business partners of yours, or, you know, do you just not care about that? Like, I'm like, bro, you're missing the point. The success principles that create success for an entrepreneur also create success for every athlete, also create success for every actor, also create success for every single person that you see driving a nice fucking car or live in a nice house. Those principles are universal. They can be directly taken and applied to fitness, and you're going to be successful in fitness. That's why I love fitness so much. I know, you know, you understand that too. Like,
big believer.
If you're somebody who's really good at following a diet and you're in great shape and you've built your body and you've done that, those same fucking principles will build you money. You know what I mean? It's a universal concept. Entrepreneurship is really about, to me, being accountable for your own actions. That's it. You know,
discipline, consistent, accountable over time. Right. You and I can't go. Let's say we were the fat kids that we were back then.
Right.
We can't go and have one amazing badass workout and one amazing high protein, low fat meal and go, ta-da, we're now lean and jacked.
Right.
It's time under tension over a long period of time. It's consistency.
And it just so happens that career usually takes a lot longer than fitness does.
It does. Career does take a lot longer because
so it's frustrating, right? Because like people who have never had success before. I remember this when I was not making any money and I was struggling. Like, I chose to believe that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Part of me had to believe it because I didn't have any other options. So like I couldn't quit because I would be digging ditches.
Right.
And I didn't want to dig ditches. Right. So
I don't look good digging ditches.
Right. But it's hard for somebody who's never achieved success to understand that if you keep pressing and you keep winning day by day by day by day, that the results are going to come. But they assign it to like some mystical force. Like, oh, dude, my outcome's going to be luck, or it's going to be God, or it's going to be the success fairy, or whatever it is. And they look at people who are successful and they think to themselves, will I ever be one of the chosen few that gets to be successful? Will I make it? And the funny thing is like, when you get on the other side of like making a little bit of money and having a little bit of success, you can clearly see the formula.
Yeah.
You know, it's not luck.
That's so true.
You know, one thing I think a lot of people don't realize whenever they do work inside a company is that, you know, they have no idea what that career could turn into. You know, take Vaughn, for instance, who came on freelance as a writer, you know, and he wrote a couple books, does some coursework, does a podcast. Like, in the future, who knows? He might be the CEO of our publishing company,
right?
You know?
Right. That's actually a very good point. You never know what a relationship is going to spawn into. But if he's like, hey, I'm only going to do the ghostwriting or whatever that I'm hired for, and I'm just going to meet the expectations and not exceed it, then Andy's going to go, oh, well, I thought about starting a publishing company, but I don't think he's the guy who's going to be sitting in that captain's seat.
Right.
On the flip side, you show me that you actually met my expectations and went far past it. Holy fuck, I just might start a publishing company and start publishing and create another multi-million-dollar company.
Right.
To your point, though, and I think it's such a good one with the whole entrepreneur thing.
Yeah.
You know, some people say, well, you know, Andy's awesome, but, you know, Andy's kind of built to be a CEO and to own the company and to run it. Maybe I'm not built that way. One thing that I absolutely love, you know, you said you weren't a sports guy, but you probably know who Phil Jackson is, famous coach of the Bulls, famous coach of the Lakers, has I don't know how many rings. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame. One of the coolest things that I've ever heard is a lot of people don't know who Tex Winter is. Tex Winter was a assistant coach for him for many years. He's the one who developed the triangle offense. Tex Winter, as an assistant coach, is in the Hall of Fame. Oh, so you don't, and people who, you know, when a team wins the Super Bowl, the quarterback gets the huge ring, right? Well, so does the lowest guy on the totem who's on the assistant coaching staff. He gets a ring too. So to me, it's and this is what I think Andy's awesome about in building the culture of First Form. It's about winning. It's about making it to the Hall of Fame and being excellent. It's not necessarily about, you know, am I the CEO? All the guys in here that are doing their job, it's about winning, you know? And if you play your part, you may be built to be a CEO or you may be built to be a component within that team. But that's what the greatest CEOs do is they build a culture where it's all about the team, it's all about winning. You know what I'm saying?
You know, you make a really good point about being built for things. You know, I'm not built to be a bodybuilder. My genetics are just not built to be a bodybuilder. I have short muscles, long tendons. You know, a good bodybuilder has short tendons, long, full muscles. I'm convinced that I'm supposed to be a long distance runner who chose to lift heavy weights and get my body to grow as much muscle as I can, but my body's always fighting that. Being built to be an entrepreneur is difficult. I heard Tony Robbins say this once. He was speaking at Joe Polish's Genius Network event, and then I was going to speak right after him. And so I'm kind of in the backstage listening because I'm a big Tony Robbins fan. And he goes, listen, when the economy shifts and goes down again, I'm going to gobble up more properties. I'm going to gobble up more islands because I'm built for winter. And the entrepreneurs are built for fucking winter. And sometimes you shouldn't envy us because we are willing to go through pain. We let our families suffer.
Right.
We let our friends suffer. There's a dear friend of mine I didn't see for 8 years when I was building my empire. But the moment we saw each other again and started surfing again, it was like we left off where we started off where we left off.
Right.
And he was like, but it's rare to have a friend like that. Most people are like, bro, you sold out, you're gone. So entrepreneurs are built for the winter. And I don't want most people to go through the pain that we've gone through because it's fucking horrible.
Dude.
I'm built for it. You're built for it.
I am too. So that brings me to my next question. Like, you're obviously a no bullshit guy, and you're an ethical guy in the way that, you know, you operate. And that fits awesome with our podcast because that's what we're about. On your website, you talk about, because this ties into Built for Winter, because there's so many fucking pretenders right now. Scammy marketers, people who are capitalizing on people's lack of knowledge or familiarity with the process. There's not a shortage of people who will tell you they can help you get rich. There's a huge shortage on people who are actually rich who are going to teach you how to get rich.
Right.
You know, you talk up on the website about, you know, how to avoid those things for people. I mean, what's your take on the current situation of fake entrepreneurs and real entrepreneurs and how to avoid those things when you're trying to learn from someone?
Yeah.
What are the red flags, I guess?
The red flags are this, man. If you can run a Facebook and an Instagram ad right now and you know how to target an audience, which is pretty simple to do because you can watch 3 YouTube videos that teach you how to run a Facebook ad, and you can change your setting on Instagram or Facebook to public figure or entrepreneur or coach. I look at someone who's got their settings set to public figure and then they have like 123 followers.
Right.
How did you become a public figure? I don't want to sound like an asshole.
No,
here,
it's the truth.
But how did you become a public figure? You know what a public figure is? Fucking Ronald Reagan is a public figure.
Right.
Fucking.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, like Brad Pitt is a public figure.
Right.
I'm an entrepreneur at best, and so I just flicked that little thing, and I finally allowed myself to even flick that when I was like, okay, I've made $5 million a year consistently for a few years. I think I'm going to keep this because for the first year, you're like, this was a fluke. Right. I'm being honest with you. Most entrepreneurs will think that they won't say it out loud. Right. But when you hit a home run, you're like, that was a fluke.
No, bro, because every year you keep making it, you're scared for the year it ain't coming.
Yes.
Yeah,
exactly.
I get it, dude. Trust me.
Exactly. So
why do you think I'm so fucking intense?
Yeah. I know there's a lot of deadbeats out there because all it takes is for them to say, I'm an entrepreneur or I'm a public figure and run a Facebook ad and lure you in.
Dude, I see these motherfuckers coming up in my stories now.
Yes.
Like, hey, I'm going to give a scholarship, and like the dude standing in front of like a fucking 1987 G-Wagon. Yeah. Like, get the fuck out of here,
And
bro.
how about when they start tagging you and Gary and Grant and all that shit, trying to align themselves.
To look credible.
Yeah, trying to align themselves with you. Yeah. And I see that stuff. And the number one thing everyone listening to this should say, and by the way, the reason these people are actually fooled by them is, oh, they charge less. They charge less because
they don't have as much to offer.
They don't have anything to offer. Yeah. Yeah. And so just ask them, give me 4 referrals. Hey, you're going to teach me how to be successful with growing an Instagram following or growing a supplement company or a franchise? Show me 4 referrals. If they can't show you 4 referrals that I can get on the phone and talk to, fuck you.
Right.
I'm not going to give you my money.
Right.
Because I've bled. I've almost lost my marriage. My kids fucking almost didn't know who the fuck I was.
Yeah.
I know what it takes to build a business and maintain an empire.
Right.
Because there's a whole other thing. Cryptocurrency, any motherfucker can make money in cryptocurrency right now.
Right.
Let's see where you are 10 years from now.
Right.
That to me is the entrepreneur, not the guy who just fucking went all in on 100%. Cryptocurrency because it's on the upswing.
Right, right.
That's just my humble opinion.
I don't even want to get started on that shit. Like, dude, I fucking... look, dude.
Crypto fucking currency.
Exactly. Dude,
Pretty much sums it up.
Oh, dude, you're missing out. We'll fucking find out if I'm missing out.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And if I am, I'll just grow my first form supplements bigger and I'll still make more than
you. That's that. So people are like, why don't you do this and this? I'm like, because I can literally make more money taking that money and putting it in myself.
And I'll tell you why that is. That mentality is always
it's to get rich quick.
Yeah.
It's too good to be true quick
because they don't believe in themselves, and it's the grass is greener on the other side. No, motherfucker, the grass is greener where you water it.
Dude,
you spent years watering this grass, and that's why we're in this amazing
It's a fucking hype machine, okay? Like, look, I'm not saying I'm just going to give my opinion here right now, and everybody's going to fucking say I'm wrong. I've sat on the panel with fucking the crypto gods, okay? I've sat on their panels. I asked them very simple questions. You know what I'm saying? How can Bitcoin become a real fucking currency if it's always changing and you're trying to equate it to a dollar amount so people know what to charge? And they're like, well, it changes every day. I'm like, so how is somebody supposed to price their shit? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Well, Bitcoin's going to be worth $1 billion. It's going to put money out of fucking business. Well, if it's going to be worth $1 billion and you're equating it to dollars and it's going to put money out of business, doesn't that mean Bitcoin's going to be worth zero? You get what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of fucking things. And like, dude, if what people are going to get mad at me because I know there's a lot of people right now who are in crypto. Look, man, short term, ride the motherfucking shit, make your money. But dude, be smart enough to look at the long-term viability of what it's going to do. And I don't know all the details. And I don't need to know all the details. But what I do know is this. What we're seeing right now, we're seeing a lot of people who are in Bitcoin talking about how great fucking Bitcoin is because they're heavily invested in it,
right?
Which gets people interested. They put more money, and what happens to the Bitcoin? It fucking goes up.
I remember a scheme called the pyramid a long time ago. I'm not saying there's a pyramid scheme. Yeah. I'm just letting you know that it smells like that.
Look, bro, when you own a seat at the fucking New York Stock Exchange, and there's only a limited amount of seats, and you guys get together and you say, hey, let's all buy this shit.
Right.
What happens? Everybody gets rich.
Yep.
Okay? What you're seeing is that happening on social media. That has nothing to do with if it's viable or not, but the fucking crazy growth right now where it went from 70 billion market cap to 700 billion market cap, that is all fucking people trying to jump in. And I'm not saying it won't be worth $100,000 a coin. It might be, but the quick fucking influx of money and shit, all that has to do with is fucking hype. And dude, one of my boys, Dan Fleischman, he's fucking heavily into crypto. Dude, he's killing it. But he also understands, make a lot, take some out. Make a lot, take some out. And dude, he'll even tell you, and he's told me, it's going to go up because it's limited. I understand that. But when we start talking about how it's going to be applied and how nobody has a solid answer.
Right.
You know, blockchain is a real thing, no fucking question. But Bitcoin currency and Ethereum or fucking Ethereum or whatever the fuck you call it, all these other motherfucking things, dude, they're great tools to make some cash right now. If you need some cash, fucking
yeah.
But the funny thing is, like, most of the people that are getting into it right now, they have no investment and experience whatsoever.
No, but they're fucking, dude, you know what it's a perfect example of? It's a perfect example of cult mentality, fucking hysteria.
Yeah.
Right. Well, they don't understand paper rich and they don't have an exit strategy, so they're just going to.
No, it'll be all the same motherfuckers that'll be commenting on my post about this podcast, being like, dude, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I don't have to know what the fuck I'm talking about because I'm 9 years old and I've seen this shit come and go and come and go and come and go and come and go. I fucking lost $60,000 in the stock market that I put $2,000 in the fucking .com boom in one fucking day. Okay, I was rich, and the next day, guess what? I was fucking broke.
Right.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
But it's also the people who think that, you know, like to
dude,
them,
they see it as a fucking solution.
Right.
I'm gonna be a fucking billionaire. Right. It's the dream, dude. It's the best fucking opportunity that's come along in the last fucking 15 years to get a lot of money quickly. So why the fuck aren't people jumping in it? I would jump in it and put all my money in it too and be taking profits out if I didn't own a real company that I can make more money with doing that.
Yeah.
So for all you Bitcoin motherfuckers that keep asking me about it and why I'm not in it and why I don't believe in it and why I don't do it, it's not any of that. It's the fact that it doesn't make logical sense for a lot of reasons. If you really truly separate yourself from the hysteria of I'm excited about Bitcoin and making money, which, dude, naturally everybody gets excited, right? Dude, you ever hit a big home run? I have, you have too. Yeah. It's fucking exciting.
Feels great.
Okay? But I am playing the long fucking game, right?
That's what they're afraid of, is the long game because it takes work, ethic, commitment.
And dude, if I take $100,000 or $500,000 or whatever the fuck I take and throw it into Bitcoin, I'm confident and I believe that if I take that same amount and I apply it to my business, I will do better long term. I know I will. So that's for me. So quit asking me about fucking Bitcoin. Go ask fucking Ty Lopez.
Was this therapeutic for you?
Yeah,
this rant?
Oh, man.
Dude, I'm just it's not my style anyway. Yeah. Like, I prefer to grind it out. I prefer to grit it out.
That's it. That's right, you know what Tony Robbins said, right? You're built for the winter. Like, you want to chop down the tree and take the tree and the fruit
dude,
with you.
I would almost be disappointed if I put 500 grand into Bitcoin and it turned into 5 million. I'd be like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like, I would have rather done it on my own. I know you probably can't relate to the mentality because you're not in my position, but I promise you, I just love the game. Like, just like Gary fucking says all the time, dude, real entrepreneurs, it's a fucking game.
Yep.
It's fucking chess, and you're trying to win the fucking game.
And money is a point system.
That's
and
right.
I've been saying that to my wife for so many years now. It's just how many points do we have in the bank now?
Right.
And what can we do with those points?
I know this too, dude. I've never made an easy dollar. Every fucking dollar I made, I've earned. And like, you know what? Every time I've personally gone for the easy dollar, you know what happened? I fucking lost.
Yep.
Every fucking time.
That's what I was going to say. Rule of the universe. Easy come, easy go.
Bro, like, you know what? If you're making money in Bitcoin, fucking awesome. I'm happy for you. If you're somebody who put $2,000 in when it was fucking $4 or whatever, and you made a fuckload of money, dude, that's awesome. Has nothing to do with your ability to keep the money or make more money.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's
you know what? There's little worth tied to that. That's luck. There's little worth tied to that. And I value the worth the worth I have on myself by being a fucking true business entrepreneur operator. I value that. You know what I mean?
Dude,
the best thing that you have about you isn't the money you make. It's the skills you have.
The experiences I've built.
And right. And like, dude, I guarantee if I ask you, like, hey, Bedros, what are you most proud of? It's not going to be your fucking bank account. It's who you've become.
Yeah.
And like, it's hard for somebody in the beginning of entrepreneurship to understand. Like, dude, you have $500 in your account or $200 in your account. That is going to make 0 sense to you. But when you've gone through the fucking shit and you've come out the other side and you learned all these skills and you've learned all, dude, I wouldn't trade that for fucking anything. And so I guess that's why, like I don't want to make a quick dollar. Like, I don't even want to make a quick dollar.
We've said that on podcast a number of times, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I almost feel like
easy come, easy go.
Yeah, dude. I almost feel like it's bad karma to make easy money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, just like you were saying.
That, and you're also sticking to what you know. Like, take the tequila.
Bro, I learned that shit fucking as hard as the hardest fucking lesson ever. I mean, every time. Like, dude, every time I ventured out of shit that I don't know, I fucking lose. Every time. You know what I mean?
So I have this friend named Doug, and he's real smart. And I said, dude, what do you think about Bitcoin? And he goes, well, I'm not really going to tell you. I'm just going to tell you a story. He said, I grew up in a small town in Illinois. We had a really, really great baseball team. Through somehow I was able to actually start for the baseball team. My very first at bat, he said, I hit a grand slam homer. He said, no.
Oh.
Ask me about my career the next 3 years. I said, how's your batting average? He goes, I pretty much struck out the rest of my career. He's like, that's what I think about Bitcoin.
You know, dude, look, if you're smart about it, you can make money at it right now. You know what I'm saying? But dude, if this is your long-term strategy that is going to make you, not only are you going to fucking lose, you're not going to develop the skills you need to develop. There's all kinds of other things that you're probably not putting value on that you're discounting that you'll miss. Even if you were to make $10 million on Bitcoin and you started out with fucking $1,000 of it, let's say it happened, which I don't think it will, but let's say it does, you aren't going to have the fucking skills needed to operate that money.
Yeah. That's the question I asked the other day on my social. I don't know if you saw it, right? I asked people if they would rather have $1 million right now or work for 10 years and have the opportunity to make $1 million a year. Majority, I mean, I think that situation, there's no right or wrong answer. I think it's dependent on the person and their situation. But most of the people said, I'll take 10 years worth of work and make $1 million a year because I'll fucking end up losing it. A lot of people are recognizing that they don't know how to manage $1 million if they were just given it.
Well, you have to realize that most people that follow you also follow me. So they're pretty fucking smart.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But don't you think that a lot of people think that there's no way they can always make more money? How do I say this? They think that they can make enough money that they're never going to be able that'll overcome their bad habits, their bad spending habits. I think that's what a lot of people think. I think if they think, well, if I make
there's
$5
no
million
fucking way, dude. I'm gonna tell you right now, the more money you make, the more fucking money you're gonna spend.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
It's a fucking ratio. It's not. Oh, my bills are $10,000 a month now. If I make $40,000 a month, it won't be an issue. Bullshit. Right. if your bills are 10 grand a month and you're only making 10 grand when you're making 40 grand a month, your bills are gonna be 40 grand a month.
Right. And I think that they think they can make so much money that they can make more money than their bad habits will get.
That's like saying you can out train a fucking bad diet.
Right.
Which everybody in fitness knows you can't.
That's what I'm
If you eat like shit, you're gonna look like shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Am I right?
I just make $5 million,
exactly
then I'm set for life because I'll just manage my money. No, you won't.
Right.
You got it easy, and it's going to go easy.
Right.
You learn to manage your money when you
don't have any.
When you don't have any, and it hurts, and you lose it, and every single one of those experiences is a battle scar that helps you then manage it when you have it.
Right.
I'm so thankful that I didn't get it overnight, because if I got it overnight, I would have lost it.
Dude, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. You spend on dumb shit like Lamborghinis.
Yeah. Dude, I bought a pig. So the first time we hit a home run, speaking of a home run, I bought a pygmy goat for my little dog. What the fuck am I going to do with a pygmy goat in Southern California? I bought a pygmy goat. And then because we have a lot of coyotes, our property backs into a state park, I built a giant habitat, twice the size of this, like a full-on cage, like a zoo, and the rocks that they can climb on because they're goats and they can climb on rocks. And the whole thing ended up costing us like over $20,000.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I went on business trips, and my wife's like, hey, this goat shits everywhere, and coyotes and bobcats are coming to our backyard trying to eat it, and you got to get rid of it. So and I got to tell you, the first money came to me easily. Came to me, like the first big chunk like that came to me easily, and that's how I squandered it. Since then, now I'm like, is this going to be another goat habitat? Fuck no, it's not. Everything now I can put it through the goat habitat acid test.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And dude, that's
because now I earn it.
We all have our own little tests like that, for sure.
Those aren't the ones that you scare and they like fall over, right?
No, it wasn't one of those. It was the cutest little thing, but I mean, the fucking thing was going to
get killed.
Bobcats and shit are coming to our backyard.
See, I can't wait till I get my tricked out Toyota Camry. I'm going to get spinners. I'm gonna get like.
You're gonna get.
Do they have spinners?
I'm gonna get those little. I'm gonna get those neon lights on the bottom of my car. It's gonna be awesome.
Ground effects.
Pimp that out. I love that,
dude. Yeah, man. I don't know. I so much appreciate the entrepreneurship game that I don't even. The pleasure of it is coming up with the concept and then putting it in play and then seeing it not work and then figuring out how to make it work and then all that shit. Like, dude, if I had made something and it just went and made a fucking $10 billion, like, I would be kind of pissed. I'd be like, fuck. I mean, I'd be flying around in a nicer fucking plane, but I'd still be kind of pissed. You know what I'm saying?
I do. I do, because you appreciate and value the grind, which goes back to, by the way, your upbringing from your dad, right? Your mom and dad probably who kind of instilled those habits in you.
Like, I want to earn what I fucking have.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to.
Not only that, I think internally you like proving to yourself that, hey, this is fucking simple and I can repeat this over and over and over again.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man.
You know who Brad Lee is, right?
Yeah, he's my boy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he invited me up to Vegas to do his podcast, Dropping Bombs, and we did it. And I'm sure if you've done his podcast, I
haven't, but I use his platform for training here.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we're looking to get his platform for ours as well. And so he goes, here's a question I ask everybody, and I forget how it went. It was pretty much, do you want to earn $20 million over your lifetime?
Oh, he asked me that shit.
Okay, or $60 million now. I was like, $20 million over my lifetime. He's like, you're stupid, you're wrong. We spent the other 45 minutes of his podcast arguing about it.
I said the same thing. He said I was fucking stupid.
Yeah, he says that to everybody. And then he even said, he goes, everyone picks what you say, or most people pick what you said. And I think you guys are wrong. I'll take the $60 million now. And I go, why? He goes, because I'll spend $40 million of it learning experiences. I go, I want to earn the first dollar, so I want to earn it.
He's also saying that from a perspective of a man who has already done very well.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to consider people's worldviews for their answers.
Sure,
but I agree, man. Like, dude, I'm with you. Like, I would rather have the other option.
Yeah, but it was funny. The whole time, the rest of the podcast was just me and him arguing why he's wrong or I'm right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which
Brad's
I was right for
though.
the record. Yeah,
dude, look, I'm with you, dude. I thought the same thing. He said I was stupid too. Yeah. So whatever, Brad, you're fucking stupid.
It was the same thing on Bitcoin. That's who you were talking to.
Oh yeah, we got an argument about Bitcoin.
It was like an hour-long conversation.
Yeah, but like, dude, look, I don't have nothing against Bitcoin. Like, dude, go Bitcoin the shit out of yourself. I don't care. But like, it's just not my thing, man. Like, I'm going to pull money out of my account and I'm going to put it back into my business. I'm going to employ people. I'm going to see people grow. We're going to create products and we're going to sell a lot more product than what I could make in Bitcoin. That's just the truth.
Hey, and then there's that, right? How you said, like, I want to employ people. Like, I enjoy walking into our HQ and seeing our team of 42, 43 people and walking by their department like, hey, what's up, fellas? And the operation.
Dude.
I also enjoy that.
Too.
And maybe it's because I didn't have a lot of friends in high school.
It's like a fucking team, bro. It's like your team. Like, you come in, dude, I think if you ask most people in this building if they feel like they come to work every day, they would say no. Like, it's like hanging out.
That's what you want.
Yeah, like I'm surprised that we get the shit done that we do, because it seems like nobody's ever doing anything.
Right.
But the shit gets done, you know? And dude, that's why like people are like, well, because I've had some pretty big offers to sell our company. They're like, why don't you fucking sell it? Because I don't gonna have that. Like, what am I gonna do every day? I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna fucking, what am I gonna do?
Kill yourself.
Dude, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna go to the gym. I'm gonna fucking buy every car that I fucking see, and that's gonna take the fun away from that for me.
It is,
because now I can afford everything that I want.
Yeah.
But
it's an issue of fulfillment. Buying those cars isn't fulfillment.
Right.
Employing these guys, building a team, overcoming challenges and obstacles together, getting to the next level like a video game. That's what
I wouldn't be able to do. How would I do that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I would be so bored.
During these high performance workshops that I do, I talk about my dog. So my dog is about she's part Mastiff, part German Shepherd. And when we adopted her, the person who was getting rid of her said, you know, just this is what we learned about German Shepherds, is that they are process driven. They need some kind of purpose. If they don't have a purpose and a process on a daily basis, they're going to get into depression. I looked up German Shepherds. Sure enough, German Shepherds.
Working breed.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. And I realized, holy fuck. We're like German Shepherds. All humans are like German Shepherds. And then I realized this is why this day and age, the prescription drugs for like antidepressants and mood altering drugs prescriptions are like higher than ever, because most people aren't living a purpose. Like, I want to come to work and have challenges and problems and then build solutions with it with my team, and then go to the pub, which is across the street, and celebrate with them that we fucking overcame the Federal Trade Commission who was auditing us because we grew too quickly. Right. And if I win the Bitcoin lottery, and nothing against the Bitcoin people, but if I win the Bitcoin lottery, I want it. It's by myself. There's no solution that I have to provide. There's no team that I have to overcome a challenge.
Skills you learn.
Yeah, I need a daily purpose, man. I'm like that fucking dog, and I think most people are. It's just our
dude. They don't know it though,
but they don't know it.
Because they've been told this story. Like, dude, I'm gonna play the lottery and I'm gonna get fucking rich. I'm gonna retire at 25. Dude, you know how I know an entrepreneur? You know how one of my biggest tells on if a dude is really an entrepreneur or not is if they say something like this to me. Like, they'll say they're 25. Dude, I got this company, blah, blah, blah. You know, my goal is to sell it when I'm 30 and fucking retire.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm looking at them like, you ain't an entrepreneur, bro.
No.
You're a fucking dreamer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, real entrepreneurs fucking love it.
Yeah.
Like, they don't, like, I don't think there's enough money you could pay me to fucking not show up here every day and do this.
Right. This is your purpose, man. This is what keeps you ticking.
Right.
This is it. Yeah. And same
like, if someone, and I mean this, like, if someone said, Andy, here's $10 billion, $10 billion. But you walk away and you can't fucking do this, I would say no. I just fucking...
Yeah. You'd be so bored.
Yeah. Oh, no. Pacific Rim 2 is coming out.
That's true. We gotta
I can watch that for 3 weeks. So, when's that coming out? I want to see that. Really?
I got to see the first one first.
Oh, my God.
You never seen it?
No.
Fuck, dude. It's the greatest bad movie ever.
I know. You told me that.
It's like injecting testosterone right
into
your
nutsack. It's like Resident Evil movies. Like Resident Evil movies are fucking terrible, but every time it's on, I fucking watch it.
Injecting testosterone into your nutsack. I love that analogy. Yeah. You've
been looking into that, haven't you?
I may or may not have tried it.
Yeah, you're getting some whiskers, so it might be something you've been doing. Well, dude, look, man.
It's that sex change. I'm actually trying to turn into a guy.
I know, we covered that when you were out of the room.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We did, actually.
You'll find out when you're editing.
Did. Not me. They did.
So, dude, thank you for making the trip out here, man. Like, a lot of you guys don't realize the podcast, you know, for these guys to come here, we're in St. Louis and we do everything live. So, like, I know it took a lot of your time. I appreciate you coming out, dude, and I'm honored to have you on the podcast.
Man, I appreciate the opportunity, honestly. Like, I'm such a big fan, and to be able to get invited by you, I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you, brother.
I hope I can pay it forward.
Yeah, so tell people where they can find you and follow you at.
Best place to find me and follow me is on social media, either on Instagram, Bedros Keuilian, or Facebook, Bedros Keuilian. I'm pretty active on social media.
Spell it out for him.
BEDROS, last name KEUILIAN.
Dude, I had no idea how to say that yesterday.
We
were arguing about it.
I got to change it to Smith.
Yeah.
I should just change it to Smith.
Just write it as Keuilian, like COOLIAN.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah.
Cool.
Dude, but thank you, man.
His nickname could be Cool.
That's
way too cool for me, bro.
That'd be a good brand.
Cool.
Yeah.
It'd be a good brand, like an apparel
My
shoot-off.
favorite is when people call me Pedro, and I'm like, oh, man, Pedro mows my lawn. You know, stop it. Yeah.
Before we fucking quit, dude, tell us about your upcoming book. Because you're writing a book, right?
Yes. Yeah. I'm in the midst of writing a book right now. And Ben Bella is my publisher, great publisher. They've been so patient with me because being an entrepreneur is one thing, authoring a book is another. Truth be told, I'll be very transparent. The book is called Man Up, and it's about entrepreneurial leadership. I was a horrible leader in 2011, 12, 13, and this is why I amassed $640,000 in debt and almost lost this massive franchise, Fit Body Bootcamp. It was never going to become what it is. And so I forced myself to become a solid, strong leader, and then with that, Man Up was born. And the reason it started is I said the 5 words to myself one day after a massive anxiety attack: it's time to man up. And then I made a decision that I was kind of avoiding. And then the next decision, it's time to man up, and made another decision. So the Man Up book that comes out September of 2018 is really, people don't need more marketing funnels. They don't need more sales skills. They don't need more anything.
No, they need to learn how to fucking lead.
Leadership is the problem. Leadership is the solution.
Right.
I've learned that from my own personal experience. And the book Man Up is about entrepreneurial leadership. And truth be told, it's been a labor of love, and I love it. And I can't wait for the world to get their hands on it. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. You know, with that title, you're going to have all the gender people.
Oh, it's already starting.
Get all over you, dude.
We were talking about that.
Why can't it just be person up?
Yeah. My favorite is when I get the comments like, it should be woman up. It's like, shut the fuck up,
dude.
Yeah.
Pretty soon it's just going to be, what's it going to be?
Woman up.
It's just going to be up.
Yeah, it's going to be up. Yeah.
It's going to be up. Anyway, guys, appreciate you listening. Don't get offended by Man Up. It's just a fucking phrase, man.
It's just a phrase.
If you're a woman, you can man up too.
Women do man up.
That's
they
right.
Need to. Yeah.
They do. So, dude, thank you again for being on the podcast. I think this has been one of my favorite ones that we've done. I say that about everyone, but it keep getting better. So thank you for coming out. I'm looking forward to going to Crush the Barbecue here in a little bit.
Yes.
And we'll get you your workout. Thanks,
yes, sir.
brother.
Thank you.